on the Arizona Association of Realtors Legislative and Political Affairs Committee. I want them to know I'm involved. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be communicative. And combination of me selling my clients and selling myself, again, we don't win everyone, but we sure have a high batting average.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Break It Down with Braydon. Super excited. I've got Paul Baker on with me today. Paul, thanks for joining me.
That's my pleasure.
Paul and I know each other through several different kind of ways. Paul's an old member of the 2030 Club. Yep. Has known my father for a long time, and now his wife actually helps babysit our child from time to time. So
full circle. Yeah,
full circle. So it's been pretty cool to kind of get to know Paul over the years, and kind of been getting together a little bit more often now that my daughter's at his house a couple times a week. And it's been pretty cool to kind of watch you kind of progress over the years and see kind of where your business has gone. So
likewise. And don't forget our affiliation with the Scottsdale Boys and Girls Club.
Yep, and the Boys and Girls Club.
We've got our eye on you as definitely a board member in the very near future.
Awesome. Love that.
Yep.
Well, for everybody that doesn't know you, Paul, give them a little bit of intro kind of about your business, about yourself, and kind of how you got here today.
Born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska. I played small college basketball. At the end of that run, I went through some tryouts to play hoops over in Europe, as some of my friends had done.
Yep.
I ended up not getting the job I expected.
You guys can't tell, Paul is very tall.
So I moved to Arizona.
Yep.
Spent about a year in banking, which was my background in college, and didn't care for it a bit. And so got into residential real estate.
Huh?
Was very fortunate. I was accepted on at Russ Line Realty down at the original Lincoln office.
Okay.
All those legends of real estate I could name. And I truthfully say 35 years later, I probably would have long been out of the real estate business had I not learned from those real pros in the industry.
Yeah.
And now I'm at ReMax Fine Properties. Great firm. We were just named the #1 ReMax franchise in the country.
Oh, wow.
And I'm happy to say that earlier in the week at our awards luncheon, I was named number 15 overall production. Thanks.
Love that.
Yep.
Love that. Very nice. Congratulations.
Thank
nice
you.
work. What's that a testament to?
The years in the business, and as I've gone back through year after year of the source of my business,
yep.
It is 100% referral generated, whether that be a repeat client, a family member of a past client, a referral of a past client.
Yep.
That's my game.
One thing I love about you, Paul, is you're very community involved. You give back to the community that you've been around in forever, and so it's been cool to kind of see how much you support our community and how many different things you're involved with.
Thank you very much.
Talk a little bit about kind of some of the things that you're doing in the community.
Well, first of all, I would say it comes from my dad, watching him as a young person.
Yep.
He was a city councilman in Nebraska. He was a county clerk for several terms. He was on the library board, the hospital board, etc. And my maternal grandfather was also very involved in his small community. And so I saw, the effect that they had on their communities.
Yep.
And that's what I've evolved into.
Yeah. So you're on the board of the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that. How's that experience been for you?
It's wonderful. We have about 36 members overseeing finance, facilities, HR, events.
Yep.
For our 9 clubs that we serve, including 3 on Native American lands. So I love if I'm happen to be having a bad day and I stop into one of the clubs and give those little kids high fives for 10 minutes, my day is instantly perfect.
Yep. It's amazing how much those things change your day. What about the tax credit that you guys are doing? I know you're a big proponent about that, and you came into our 2030 meeting and talked about that.
Thank you.
Tell everyone about that.
Yes, for the second year, I'm the Boys and Girls Club of Scottsdale's tax credit chair.
Yep.
It's a very easy way to give to us, and it's an absolute zero cost to you. Instead of paying your taxes to the state, you can go to bgcs.org and make your donation. It's $400 for an individual or $800 for a couple, and we really appreciate it. It's one of our big sections of fundraising throughout the year.
Yeah, it's huge. If you guys don't support the Boys and Girls Club, we would love your support, and it's an easy way to do it through the tax credit. So definitely take advantage of that and go through the website.
Yeah, thank you.
What about some other stuff that you're involved with? I know you've been a member of the 2030 Club back in the day, which is kind of a cool little connection that we've got. Tell everyone kind of a little bit about that organization and that may not know about.
Well, I was invited in the second year of the organization.
Okay.
And all those years later, many of those guys are still very close friends. And I would say that we all love coming back once or twice a year to the old guy night and experiencing, revisiting your world. And it seems very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, for those of you who aren't aware, I'm a 2030 member, so we're a local philanthropic organization here in town that gives back to local children's charities. And Paul's an old past active member and comes around and still supports the group all of our past active nights. So it's been awesome to kind of still see you coming around and supporting us through all those different ventures and
Thank
stuff.
you.
So,
I really love it.
We're excited to have ABC coming up and all the different support we've got around that. And it's going to be a really cool event on April 15th at the Scottsdale Stadium.
You bet. The other thing I've got involved in 4 or 5 years ago, watching several colleagues that have been through it, was the Scottsdale Leadership Program. And I encourage you to take a look at that. I think you'd be a fantastic candidate.
Yeah.
It's really a VIP behind-the-scenes look at every aspect of our city, whether it be police and fire or education or healthcare or schools. It's an incredible 8-month-long program, so it is quite a commitment of time.
Yep.
But again, you leave that program with incredible knowledge about our city and a great bond with those 40 or so people that you end up going through with.
I've actually had a good amount of people that have brought that up to me recently, kind of talking about that. I know Chris Nace was in it for a while, and then Dallas Griffin's in it now, and they all just rave about how great it is and just kind of the different things they get to see within the community and too of, like you said, of what different organizations are doing around town. It's cool.
You're right. Experiences you can't pay for.
Yep.
So it's great.
Talk about how your business has been over this last year.
Well, 2020 was unbelievable. We thought there was nothing like it, and then 2021 came along, and it was even crazier. And the early signs for 2022 are, again, continued just craziness.
Yep.
Everybody knows there's real low inventory, which means your buyer sees a house that they like. It's very likely that many others are in love with that same house.
Yep.
So I can't say I win 100% of the time, but being an old former athlete, I'm still very competitive and want my clients to win.
Yep.
So it is about communication. It's about selling a story. I want to paint a picture that my clients are level-headed, strong financially, and in love with the house, want to put down their family's roots, etc. Residential real estate, as you know, is a people business. We're not selling a commercial building with cap rates and returns and things. This is people's lives.
Yep.
So I try to sell that. And then to the other realtor who's helping his or her seller make the decision, I try to sell myself a little bit secondarily, that I am 35 years in the business as a broker with one of the top ReMax firms in the country, that I've served on the Scottsdale Area Association of Realtors board for 3 years. I currently serve on the Arizona Association of Realtors Legislative and Political Affairs Committee. I want them to know I'm involved. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be communicative. And combination of me selling my clients and selling myself, again, we don't win everyone, but we sure have a high batting average.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the most important things in this market today is the experience, because you've worked with all these other agents that have these listings, and you've got experiences with them already, and so they know, like, and trust you and know that your client's going to get the deal done.
That's the objective.
It seems like that seems to be where a lot of the deals are getting done now. Hey, I know that agent, and so I have comfortability with knowing that they're going to get the deal done, as opposed to just going with the highest and best offer. It's okay, who's actually going to be the right person for this property?
I can honestly say I've had a few occasions in recent years where my clients have gotten the deal over cash investors because of those techniques I just spoke of.
Yeah. What other things are you kind of coaching your clients to do right now in this crazy market?
Well, I try to take them out on a limb, but not without a parachute, shall we say.
Yep.
You waive the appraisal in many cases, but there's protections to it. You may go as is, but again, there's protections to it.
Yep.
So some of those things where the client is 1,000% the focus, but coaching them in something I do 7 days a week, 365, versus something that's not their expertise, and yet protecting them.
You've got 35 years of experience. Why did you choose ReMax, or why do you choose ReMax?
Just as I said a little bit ago with starting at Russ Lyon, my mantra has always been to work for who the public perceived, who the realtors perceived as the top firm in our valley. And that was, it is still is Russ Lyon Realty.
Yep.
Still a great firm. But ReMax gives me the flexibility that I need and the support that I need. We have great ownership, and that's the brand I expect to stay with the remainder of my career.
Love that. Who is the owner?
Del Rounds was our former owner,
Yep.
and unfortunately we lost him in 2021. It was a huge void for the entire real estate community. But Jamie Wong is one of our majority owners, Melissa Dirks, and Sandy Carpin.
Got it.
And Mr. Rounds' wife, Lisa, is also the majority owner and kind of a minority player in the background.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. It's a big impact on our industry when that happened.
It sure
that's
was.
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. What's your favorite communities in town?
Well, I honestly, at this point in my game, I still sell all over town.
Yep.
I had closings last year in Sun City West, in Gilbert. Obviously, I love to work up in Desert Mountain. I've got my toe in the door up there with some folks, and most of those agents know me.
Yep.
So I'm still at a point in my career where if my client needs me, that's where we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a community, though, that you personally like the most?
I'm a big fan of the Cactus Corridor, which is where I live.
Yep.
The old ranch-style homes on larger lots.
Yep.
That's still prime Scottsdale.
I love the Cactus Corridor. Yep. It's I love the fact that there's no HOA. You get
Correct.
the big lot, and you can do whatever you want to your house for the most part. And it's it's just it's a great community right there.
Right. It's kind of a poor man's Paradise Valley
Yep.
to some extent, in the sense that you would buy a home and maybe tear it down.
Yep.
And 10 years ago, when those homes in PV were $1 million, $1.2 million, the Cactus Corridor, those homes are now $1 million, $1.2 million.
Yep.
So great investments.
That's a good analogy. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell everybody about your listing that you got around the corner from your house, actually.
Well, it's not currently on the market, but it was really the signature listing of my career. A beautiful equestrian property that this woman had blended European antiques and vintage artifacts into her home and made this most spectacular small horse property.
Yep.
It was listed $2.75 million. Just last night, I got an offer at $3 million. So even though it's not listed, my client is considering it. So that's very exciting.
Probably one of the coolest horse properties I've ever seen, just in terms of like the luxury style of the stables that they've got in there. It's immaculate.
It is.
Yeah, they did quite the job.
The barn doors she found in some antique shop in Scottsdale, and it was all verified, but they're solid oak doors out of the original Dodge Founders estate in Grosse Pointe, Michigan.
Oh, no way.
They're from the 1930s, and the stories like that continue throughout the whole house.
Yeah, I believe it. It was just stunning.
Yeah.
Well, and like
Thank you.
the stables itself is almost like the pristine part of the house.
Right.
They look so nice. You're
Yeah.
just like, okay, I'd put my bed in there and sleep in there.
You've seen it, but the folks have one horse and 4 donkeys.
Yep.
And they just love it. Their little girls, they don't ride the donkeys, but it's just magical to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know you were big on sports and competition. How do you kind of perceive that with your business today as well? I know you said you're really working on getting your buyer's deals and stuff, but how else is that kind of perceived into your real estate business?
Well, about 2.5 years ago, I was fortunate to get introduced to my first professional athlete. He's a pitcher for the Diamondbacks. I placed him in a home, and the network continued to grow.
Yeah.
So currently I have 3 past clients that are MLB players, great young men, all millionaires, but all humble and respectful and need my help.
Yep.
And I have 2 NFL clients, also the same, very humble and respectful and smart young men.
Yep.
A couple of the gentlemen have started foundations for work that they're passionate about, and it's really a pleasure, and it's a network that I obviously hope to grow.
Yep. What other stuff do you like to do kind of on the day-to-day of Paul's life outside of work?
Well, My wife and I just have the one daughter, Rachel, as you know.
Yep.
And she got married last spring. So we welcomed Kevin into the family, and just like we did with her, we enjoy travel as now the 4 of us instead of the 3 of us. So
Yep.
always something on the horizon with that. And I am a big sports fan. I love our Cardinals, love the D-backs, love the Suns. So always trying to catch a game.
How is the day-to-day life with having Denise with the in-home daycare and stuff? Is she?
About an hour into the crying is my time to go to the office, and
Yeah.
that happens pretty early. But no, I sometimes jokingly said the smell of a dirty diaper is the smell of money around our house.
Right?
Right.
Oh, funny.
So thank you for contributing
Absolutely.
to
Glad to contribute. Yeah, it's been awesome to have that opportunity, and glad you guys are only a few miles away from our house. It makes it very convenient, and it's been awesome.
that. The kids become family to us.
Well, and it's fun too because I feel like Kennedy has like friends there now. Like
Yes.
whenever we drop her off, there's girls that are like literally waiting to get her out of her car seat and stuff, and it's just the cutest thing ever.
Yep.
It's been awesome for us.
Yep.
So yeah, glad we made that connection
I
at
sure
my
am too.
parents' house that one time.
Yeah.
Paul, what other stuff? I think you obviously are really involved with the community, doing great in real estate. Lived here forever. You're just doing some really cool stuff around town. So it's just I'm glad to have you on here, and appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure.
And then I know we're going to a party here in a little bit at Loco Patron, actually for my father's birthday. So I'm excited for that.
I am too.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
Absolutely.
Thanks again. My
Thank
pleasure.
you, Paul, and see you soon.
Okay.
Thanks again for sticking around for another episode of Break It Down with Braydon, and stay tuned for more, guys. Thanks.